Direction of transmission. When two devices are transmitting data with each other, how they are transmitting, who is the sender, who is the receiver, or both are senders or both are receivers. So, what kind of transmission is happening between the devices? So, we also call it transmission mode. We have three types of transmission modes. Two devices can have a simplex transmission, or a half duplex transmission, or a full duplex transmission. Let's talk about simplex first. In simplex transmission, the transmission is happening only in one direction. Means the sender is always the sender and it is always sending the transmission to the receiver. Receiver will never send something to the sender. Sender will never become receiver, receiver will never become sender. For example, the television transmission. What happens in television? Your television is receiving the broadcast transmission and it is always receiving. You are never transmitting something using your television. From sender to receiver, for example, from computer to printer. So this is another example. From computer to printer, you are always sending data from your computer to printer for the printing purposes, but printer never sends some data into your computer. Okay, you are always sending data from your keyboard to the computer, but your keyboard is never receiving anything from the computer. So between these devices, we are having simplex transmission in which sender is always sender, it never receives anything. Second one is half duplex. What happens in half duplex? In both direction means sender can sometimes receive as well. Sender has the capability to receive the data as well, but not at the same time. Means when it is receiving, it can only receive. When it is sending, it can only send the data. Data can be sent from A to B or from B to A along the same line, but not at the same time. Example is walkie-talkie communication between law enforcement agencies. Na? You must have seen law enforcement agencies using walkie-talkies in which they say after every sentence, they say after every message, they say over. So because the receivers are in the receiving mode and that signal that over means that the person has stopped talking, and if anyone else wants to talk, he can or she can switch his mode to sending using a button and then speak. The third one is full duplex. What happens in full duplex? Both directions simultaneously. So data can travel both directions at the same time simultaneously. This is the most common one nowadays. Every broadband or internet connection, every phone call is the example of full duplex transmission. Data can be sent from A to B and from B to A along the same line, both at the same time. For example, broadband internet connection. The device is capable of receiving and sending data at the same time. So these were the three modes of or three directions of data transmission. We find all three examples around us.